The moment someone realizes you are better than them, something changes. Not always loudly, not in an obvious argument, not in a direct confession. It happens in the space between words. Their tone cools. Their support feels thinner. Their smile stays. But the warmth behind it begins to disappear. At first, you may question yourself. Maybe you are imagining it. Maybe they are tired. Maybe nothing changed. But your instincts often notice social truth before your mind can prove it. Jealousy does not always arrive as hatred. Sometimes it arrives as a quiet adjustment. They stop meeting you as a person and start reacting to your level. Once your growth exposes the distance between you and them, their behavior begins to change. That is why the first sign is usually emotional, not logical. You feel the room become less safe before you can explain why. In the beginning, they may still try to compete. They watch what you do, measure themselves against you, and silently compare their progress to yours. As long as they believe they can catch up, they can remain friendly. But when they realize your discipline, confidence, or growth is not temporary, they shift strategy. They stop competing with your results and start targeting your confidence. This is the important turn. They do not need to become better if they can make you feel smaller. They do not need to defeat you if they can slow your movement from the inside. Their focus changes from self-improvement to emotional interference. When jealous people know you are better than them, they often stop chasing your level and begin studying what still makes you doubt yourself. They look for the old insecurity, the guilt, the need to be liked, the place where your certainty can still be pulled loose. Your first response is to slow down. Jealous people often rely on your quick politeness. They expect you to laugh too fast, explain too much, soften the tension, and rescue the mood. Fast reactions give them information. They learn what bothers you, what makes you guilty, and what pressure still works. So do not rush. Let the moment breathe. If their comment feels strange, do not immediately clean it up with a nervous smile. Pause. Watch. A slower response breaks the rhythm they expected. It shows that you are not automatically available for emotional management. This does not mean becoming rude or dramatic. It means refusing to give control away through reflex. When you slow down, you begin seeing more clearly. The person who meant no harm can survive a pause. The person hiding envy often rushes to rewrite the moment before you fully register it. The first behavior is cold reaction. You share progress, good news, or a meaningful win, and their response feels forced. They may say the right words, but the feeling is missing. Their congratulations sound like a receipt, not a celebration. This happens because your success does not only show what you achieved, it also reminds them of what they avoided, delayed, or failed to build. Instead of letting your progress inspire them, they experience it as exposure, so they act unimpressed. They lower the emotional value of your win because fully acknowledging it would make their own stagnation harder to ignore. Real support feels open. Jealous support feels controlled. If your success makes someone colder, pay attention. One cold reaction may mean nothing. A repeated pattern of coldness around your growth usually means your rise is touching something they do not want to face. The second behavior is hidden negativity. They rarely attack directly because direct hostility would reveal too much. Instead, they hide inside sarcasm, fake advice, careful silence, and concern that somehow leaves you feeling weaker. They might make a small joke that cuts, then act confused when you notice. They might offer feedback that sounds helpful, but only appears when you are about to move forward. They might withhold support, then claim they were only being neutral. This kind of negativity survives because it is deniable. If you react, they call you sensitive. If you ignore it, the pattern continues. The goal is not open conflict. The goal is to make you question your own perception. Hidden negativity is designed to affect you without making them responsible. It keeps you explaining your discomfort instead of trusting it, and that is exactly where your energy starts leaking. The third behavior is small interruption. They cut in when people start listening to you. They redirect the topic when attention begins moving your way. They speak over you, repeat your idea later, or reduce your point with a joke. Alone, each moment looks too small to confront. Together, they form a pattern. This is how jealousy works when it wants to stay hidden. It does not always try to destroy your presence in one obvious move. It slowly reduces it. It teaches you to expect interruption. It makes you feel less comfortable taking space. Over time, you may start shrinking before anyone asks you to. That is the quiet effect. The interruption outside becomes hesitation inside. And once you begin editing yourself before you speak, they no longer have to interrupt as much. The damage has moved into you. The response is controlled language. When something feels off, do not explain for 5 minutes. Use short, clear sentences. If they twist your words, say, "That is not accurate." If their joke has an edge, say, "Explain that." If their concern feels like control, say, "I did not ask for approval." Short language protects you because it gives less material to manipulate. Jealous people often benefit when you over-explain, because long explanations reveal insecurity, guilt, and pressure points. Precision changes the dynamic. It brings vague behavior into direct language. It forces the moment to become clearer. You are not attacking them. You are refusing to make their behavior comfortable. Clear words remove hiding places. They also remind you that your job is not to convince someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. The fourth behavior is distortion. They begin turning your strengths into flaws. Your confidence becomes arrogance. Your boundaries become ego. Your independence becomes attitude. Your focus becomes selfishness. Notice when this begins. Usually, it starts after you stop needing their validation. Before that, you were easier to manage. Once you become more self-led, your strength creates discomfort, so they rename it. They cannot admit your growth threatens them, so they make your growth sound like a problem. This is not honest criticism. It is image control. If they cannot lower your actual level, they try to lower your image. The trick is simple. Make your strength look suspicious so other people question it too. Do not accept every label as truth. Sometimes a label is only someone's discomfort trying to sound intelligent. The fifth behavior is copying you while criticizing you. They mock your routines, your discipline, your standards, or your ambition. Then, quietly, they begin borrowing the same things. This contradiction tells you something important. Jealousy often contains admiration that is too proud to confess itself. They want the results you are getting, but they do not want to admit your method had value. So they study you privately while dismissing you publicly. They imitate the formula but keep the attitude. It can feel insulting, but it is also revealing. People do not copy what they truly believe is worthless. They copy what works. Their imitation is proof that something in you had power they could not ignore. Let that be information, not resentment. You do not need to teach strategy to someone who keeps trying to reduce your confidence. The sixth behavior is conditional presence. They are available when you are struggling, doubtful, embarrassed, or emotionally low. In those moments, they may seem warmer. But when you become healthier, calmer, stronger, or more respected, they disappear. This is because your weakness made them feel safe. A lower version of you was easier to advise, easier to compare with, and easier to stand above. Your growth changes that emotional position. Some people do not want you destroyed. They simply want you beneath them. They support the version of you they can handle, not the version you are becoming. Their absence during your rise tells you more than their comfort during your pain. Watch who returns only when you shrink. That pattern reveals whether they love your healing or only enjoy your dependence. The advanced pattern is control through attention, reputation, and doubt. If they cannot compete with your value, they compete for visibility. They interrupt, tell bigger stories, or shift focus when the room starts noticing you. If they cannot influence you directly, they try to influence how others see you. They call you arrogant, distant, changed, or difficult. And right before important moments, they may plant doubt disguised as honesty. Before the opportunity, the conversation, the risk, or the next step, they suddenly become brutally concerned. They do not always need to stop you. They only need to slow you down. Doubt is easier to plant than defeat. Once you start second-guessing yourself, their work has already begun. That is why timing matters. Real honesty leaves you clearer. Jealous honesty leaves you smaller, hesitant, and less willing to move. The final response is simple. Stay neutral, observe patterns, and limit access. Do not become dramatic. Do not become paranoid. Do not chase every explanation or every rumor. Watch the pattern. Your peace does not need a courtroom case. If someone repeatedly leaves you smaller, colder, more doubtful, or less clear, that is information. Reduce what they know about your plans, fears, private process, and next moves. Keep your face calm and your words clean. Their behavior is not random. It is what happens when someone knows they cannot match you but refuses to accept it. They know they cannot be you. so they try to weaken you. But once you see the pattern, the power shifts. You stop trying to win their warmth. You stop proving your value to someone already threatened by it. You move quieter, you speak cleaner, you protect your confidence, and you keep going. The moment you stop giving them emotional access, the game changes. They can still watch, whisper, copy, or criticize, but they no longer get to steer your inner state. That is the quiet victory they hoped you would never reach. Not proving them wrong through argument, but becoming too grounded to be redirected by their reaction. When someone is threatened by your level, your greatest protection is not noise. It is consistency. Let them interpret. Let them compete with shadows. You keep building what made them uncomfortable in the first place.